she comforts me. Mother, she comforts me. Every time I lose my way and I feel I can't go got the angels beside me.
Mhm. Can you hear? Is there sound?
It's good.
Okay. Welcome to this Habits of Happiness online talk. And before we start, maybe we can have a few minutes of silence together.
At this moment, we cannot take your call. Please call back later or leave us a message and we will call you back. Thank you.
In this silence, just reflect for a few minutes. And bring the reminder that we are guests on this planet, that we are guests in this body. Om Shanti. Thank you. I wanted to show you all a video with a song. Some of you may have seen or heard it, but just a little spiritual entertainment before we go into the habits of happiness. We're trying with the here.
We're not just bodies playing our part in this earthly drama, blind to depart. But deep inside, there's a truth we can see. It is not our world for eternity. The silence calls, it's the world we belong. A realm of peace where we are strong. Awaken now to the world of the soul. This earth is a shadow, the true world's whole. Beyond the noise, beyond the race, there's a silent world, a sacred space. We are eternal, pure and free. The riches of the soul world we truly see. This world of illusion, so loud and so bright, is not our home, it's not our light. We are the essence beyond all form. Knowing the soul world, we are transformed. The Father of peace, He calls us near. In His silence, there's nothing to fear. Awaken now to the world of the soul. This earth is a shadow, the true world's whole. Beyond the noise, beyond the race, there's a silent world, a sacred space. We are eternal, pure and free. The riches of the soul world we truly see. The Father supreme, the ocean of light. In the soul world we find our sight. Pure and peaceful beyond the sky. In His embrace we rise, we fly. No harm can touch, no pain can stay. To the soul world we find our way. Awaken now to the world of the soul. This earth is a shadow, the true world's whole. Beyond the noise, beyond the race, there's a silent world, a sacred space. We are eternal, pure and free. The riches of the soul world we truly see.
You. Maybe you can post the link in the chat.
Need to put the link in the chat.
Just put the link in the chat. Okay. Nice, no? Happiness and habits of happiness. One of the interesting things is that we all look for happiness. We all make all kinds of effort to experience happiness. And there is sometimes such a deep need and such a deep craving for happiness that we might go for short-term happiness, which we might even better yet call pleasures, that might harm us in the long run. But such is the craving, the need inside to experience some boost, some excitement, some enthusiasm, some pleasure, some deeper happiness, really, that we go after things and we create habits that might even be harmful for us. And the first habit to create happiness is to begin to discern between what leads to or what is true happiness and what is just a superficial form of pleasure, which might later on cause us damage and harm. And even in certain cases, leave us craving for more. And so you're in a worse place than you were initially. And I'm talking about dependencies and addictions now. It starts apparently innocent and we feel good, but then later on we want more and more and more. And when we can't get it, we feel empty and ultimately maybe depressed and sad. And in some cases of deep dependencies and addictions, we might even break our moral standards and principles. We might even break the law to get what we want. And we break the rules of health sometimes just to get an instant, pleasurable excitement. But such is the deeper longing for happiness. And on the other hand, we also need to be a bit more clear about what truly makes us happy. Because when they study happiness, there is this whole science of happiness that has emerged in the past 25, 30 years within the researches and strivings of psychology. What they have observed is that people have generally a certain idea of what makes us happy. There are all kinds of ideas. For example, without much thinking and reflection, there is this general belief that if I'm famous, everybody wants to be, not everybody, but people want to be famous. And the underlying thought might be, it makes them happy. They want to be beautiful, physically beautiful and attractive, Because deeper inside the thought is, if I'm beautiful, I will be happy. But what they have observed is that people who are famous and people who are beautiful, it doesn't add to their happiness. They are not necessarily more happy than people who are not famous. They are not more happy than people who are not beautiful. No, and some people think, I need to have a child, I need to have a child, or I need to have a partner, I need to be married, then I will be happy. Now, I think it doesn't need rocket science to know that people with children are not necessarily more happy than without. Or people who are married are not necessarily more happy than those who are not married. So we have all these ideas in our mind and we strive, we make so much effort in our life to attain it. And just to find out that it doesn't really is the magic solution to unhappiness. And the same with money. We want to be rich. I want to be rich. Now, what studies have shown that there is a certain amount of physical resources and financial resources required to see the basic physical survival is guaranteed. That is okay. But beyond that, more money doesn't make people more happy. And actually, a phenomenon that is observed is that more people have, more they can lose. And so even the thought of losing or of the amount of things that they can lose can create such insecurity and anxiety that it might even diminish their happiness. And so all these illusionary ideas that we have about happiness, not well thought through, that we do and we strive for, they might not be the right method to attain happiness. Because one of the things that undermines our happiness is the thought that we can lose things or that we will lose something. The insecurity of loss or the insecurity of potential loss. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. I'll be back. Jose? Okay. Yes, so this first and important habit of happiness is to discern what truly leads to happiness or what can even lead us into dependencies and addiction. And the other thing is it really leading to happiness, or is it just the idea that we have accepted, we have learned from others to live a certain life and to strive for certain things, but underneath it is not the real method. Now, when they observe, when they have studied people, in terms of mood, in terms of general life events, in terms of their experience of happiness, one habit that they have observed in people who experience happiness in their lives is the habit of giving. People who are having somehow that tendency, that inclination to give, to cooperate, to bring benefit, to use their skills for the upliftment of others. They are generally people who are content with themselves and content with that deeper feeling of joy is there. And that is a joy that is not dependent on external situations. It is a joy that is not dependent on what I have or who I have with me or the status that I have or the people who praise me or the possessions that I have. It is based on an inner positioning, you could say, an inner attitude of giving. And that attitude of giving gives them a deeper joy. Now we have worldwide, actually, a culture of giving gifts. There are always occasions that people give gifts. We all like to receive gifts, but also there is a joy in giving gifts. And innately, naturally, when you give someone a gift or when you help someone get to a better stage or a better place or help them attain something, you feel good inside. You feel a certain satisfaction, a certain worthiness, a certain sense of usefulness. And unfortunately, we have created a society and a culture that creates a mindset, that stimulates a mindset of taking, of needing, of desiring, of wanting, of demanding, of expecting. And that is the opposite of that that habit of happiness, that tendency of happiness, of giving. And giving is not always with a thing or with money or food or gifts. Giving can just be cooperating. Giving can be a smile. Giving can be a kind word to encourage someone, to help them see things from a different perspective, to help them being more strong or stable through your presence or through your company or through your uplifting attitude and your uplifting thoughts. And so this habit of giving is a very, very important habit in the quest of happiness. And when you see people who have made made the limelight, no, in the sense of people like Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, within the US, of course, there are those from the civil rights movement and from other different branches and areas of civil society. People who have given their skills, their abilities, their wisdom, they tend to have a certain dignity and a certain self-respect and a certain contentment about themselves and about life. And it is useful for all of us to explore that a little bit more. Now, if we look outside for things or people or some status to be happy, there will always be the element of unpredictability and of possible change. And that itself makes us insecure. But if we look inwards for deeper secrets and deeper treasures that we all hold inside, then we don't need to be dependent on external things. And we have learned to look outside so much. And that is unfortunate. And there is a story that maybe some of you have heard already, but that illustrates this. It is the story of Nasruddin. Some of you might have heard. Nasruddin lost the key to his house. Nasruddin is a cartoon character from the Middle East. And there are lots of stories about him. And he's shown as a religious man who has some wisdom, but there is also a little bit of a funny twist in his stories. And so one day Nasruddin lost his house key and he is searching all over for that key. And he can't find it. So he goes outside and he searches under the street light. And he's searching. And his neighbor sees him searching and starts helping him search, but they can't find anything. So his neighbor asks, but where did you lose your key, Nasruddin? And Nasruddin said, I lost it in my bedroom. And the neighbor said, so why are we searching here outside under the street light? He said, there is light here. In my bedroom, it is dark. Here is more easy to search. Now, where will he find his key? Not where it is easy to search necessarily. He will find his key where he lost it. Now, we did not lose our happiness outside. We did not lose our happiness in other people or in money. We lost our happiness inside, the happiness in our own mind, happiness in our own feelings, a certain sense of worthiness and usefulness and dignity inside. And we will only lose it. We will only find it inside again. And so another habit of happiness is to be more introspective, to reflect on who you truly are. And this is the practice of meditation reinforces this, coming back to the awareness of the self as a spiritual being. And I will use the whiteboard just to draw and give a little bit more of a clarity on this meditation and this understanding of the self. Can you see the whiteboard? Can someone please open the mic and tell me, because I don't know otherwise. If you can see.
Yes, I can see. Thank you.
So normally, we think of ourselves in terms of this is the world, this is me, this is mine, my house or my apartment, this is my credit card, this is my job, this is my friend or my family, or sorry, I can't draw very well. This is my country. These are my possessions. We think of ourselves in terms of the body and the things around the body. And there is, of course, nature. This is the sun, there's nature, pets, there may be colleagues, and maybe some sports and your hobbies. And we think of ourselves, this is me, and this is mine, and this is mine, and this is mine. Now, when we say a very important habit of happiness is to reflect more deeply on the self and on the true self, we're not talking about all of these things. We are talking about the inner being, the experiencer, the being of consciousness, the soul. And the being is invisible. The real self, the soul, the one who is giving life to this body, the one who is experiencing all this, is a guest in this body. It's like a living light. And the being, the soul, is immortal. Body is mortal. All of these things are temporary and changing and will end. But the real self, when we use the word I, we should use it for this. The soul. The soul is immortal. The soul is timeless. Now, to touch and to experience that sense of timelessness, that sense of eternity, that sense of immortality, that is a real basis for joy and for peace. And we can touch on this regardless of what is happening out here. Now, there are many treasures inside, but we will not experience them, we will not discover them even if we all the time are distracted and outwardly oriented. And this is why every day, 2 times a day if possible, in the morning before you start your day, in the evening to close your day, if you reflect, take time to withdraw and shift your attention from the external and become aware of yourself as a timeless spiritual being, a living light, a being who is immortal, a being who transcends the limitations of matter, the limitations of the body. And you start feeling that peace and a deeper joy and stability emerges. That is a very good habit of guaranteed stable happiness. For that, we need to make up our mind. We need to decide. And we need to choose to take that time, to make that time for ourselves. A habit of happiness is to regularly, daily, for however long you can, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if you build it, if you train yourself, or if you do a course and practice yourself, you could even meditate longer. And create that foundation and that experience of inner stability and that awareness of yourself as a being of light, a being of consciousness, a soul, separate and different from the temporary and the physical. That is a very good habit of happiness. You want to say something so far before we move on? I'm a bit far from the computer, so I can't read if you write something. So if you want to ask something, just please open your mic and just say. Or maybe Varsha can read. Can you read what is written? Someone wrote something.
Yes, sister. Basically, everyone is saying very nice video.
Ah.
And then I, in fact, could we have a link, please? Thank you.
I think they have put the link in the chat.
Oh, there is.
I think so. Yeah. I will put the link in the end.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
It is not there.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to say something about what we have spoken so far? Ideas on happiness? So the first one, we need to discern. The first habit of happiness, discern what really leads to happiness or what is just creating a temporary hype in excitement or pleasure, but in the long run, it creates more either dependency or addiction or harm or a sense of loss and sadness. We need to learn to discern. The second habit that we have spoken about is the attitude of giving, the tendency of giving. And the third is take time to meditate, take time to reflect to find the inner treasures that create a stability and a joy in the mind, regardless of external situations. And wanting to illustrate even more this second habit of giving, of contributing, of using your resources to create upliftment or benefit of all involved, of all around. Some psychological study of human behavior and also human characteristics. They studied what kind of attitude people have in different circumstances in life. And so a general gathering, a social gathering of people, they say there are 3 types of attitudes that they have observed that people have in these kinds of gatherings. One attitude is of people who come and they think, what here can I get? What here is there for me that I can take? What is there for me? Me, and I want to have and I want to take. What can I get? Even if I had to get without permission, what can I take? That is the attitude. Second type of attitude that they have observed in people is they are called the complainers. They come in and they start complaining. They complain about the light, they complain about the people, they complain about the drinking, or there's no food, or why they talk like that, why they don't talk like that. Constant complaining or even gossiping. And this is a second type of positioning, mental positioning people have. The third type of attitude that they have observed is people who have the attitude to collaborate. They come in and they think, how can I help? They come in and they think, how can I cooperate? They come in and they think, what can I do to make it pleasant or successful for everyone? And what was interesting, they have followed these people for quite a number of years, 40 years or so. And every 3 months, they had interviews and to follow their live events. And what they have observed about people's health, about the quality of their relationships, of their professional successes, but also their general feeling of happiness about themselves and about their life. Now, who do you think were the people who had the most harmonious, satisfying relationships of those 3 types of attitudes? The first one are the takers, second one are the complainers, the third one are the givers, the cooperators. What they have found is that those people who have that attitude of giving and cooperating, they generally have more happy and more satisfying relationships, and even a broader circle of friends. They have found that And the worst one were the complainers, the worst off. They have found also, even professionally, the ones who were most successful, but also most content, maybe not necessarily successful in what the world would see as success and riches, but were those who were most content with their professional circumstances were the givers. And again, the worst of the complainers. Someone's mic is open. Can you please close your mic? Because we're hearing other sounds that are disturbing. Yeah, thank you. But what was interesting is that even in terms of their physical health, those who had the attitude of giving and cooperating generally had better health. And even if there were physical challenges, they were able to deal with it better. And they had the propensity, the tendency to heal more easily also. And so even in general life situations, it is a better strategy to have the attitude of cooperation and giving and contributing. And like I said, the attitude of giving and contributing is not just I have to bring gifts or I have to give money. That is one way. But just being in a good mood, carrying a smile, recognizing people's specialities and their qualities and appreciating them, all of those are forms of giving. And what you put out in this world, that is also what sooner or later returns to you. And there is a nice poem about this giving. Rabindranath Tagore, in his Gitanjali, one of his poems is of the king and the beggar and the king. And the essence of the poem is there is a beggar, and that beggar goes around the village begging every day. And so one day he wakes up and he has a special feeling and he thinks, oh, today is as if it's gonna be different. So he gets ready, he goes out, and on the horizon, he sees a golden light that is moving towards the village. And he feels, oh, really, today is gonna be a good day. And that golden light enters his village, enters the street where he is in. And it is not just a golden light, it is a golden carriage. And on that carriage is sitting the King of Kings, God himself. So this beggar is happy and his heart begins to beat faster and he thinks, wow, today is my lucky day. I'm done begging. God himself will give me riches beyond imagination. So this golden chariot stops in front of the beggar. And in his mind, he's making up his list what he's going to ask. And the King of Kings comes off the chariot, smiles. But to the surprise of the beggar, the King of Kings stretches out his hands and says, what do you have to give to me? And there is a silence. This poor beggar. He thinks, what is this, God? And he's asking me to give him something. But he can't say no. So he goes in his pocket and he looks for the smallest of smallest piece of grain. He takes it out and he gives it in the hand of the King of Kings, who smiles, says thank you, turns around, gets on the chariot and off, leaving this poor beggar disillusioned, disappointed, and quiet. And so the beggar continues begging from door to door. And at night, he comes home. He empties his pockets, he empties his bags with all the alms he has received. And amongst all the pieces of bread and grain and rice, he finds a small, small, small grain of gold. Just as small as the grain that he gave to the King of Kings. And the last sentence of that poem is, I wished and I wept that I had had the heart to give him my all. And I like this story because I think this story shares or relates the law of life, the dynamics of human life. It is not about how much we can get and take. It is how much we can give. And that is what will come back to us. And this cultivating habits of happiness is searching, or searching is not the right word, discovering the treasures that we already have inside and sharing them with others. There is a deep joy in discovering the beauty and the truth of who you are and helping others to discover the truth and the beauty of who they are. And so the biggest treasure, the most kind thing we can do for ourselves is to discover that we are spiritual beings. We are souls who transcend this human, mortal, physical existence. We are immortal beings. And to experience again that we belong to another dimension, the soul world. No, and in the song that we played, the video clip that we played at the beginning, it was very beautifully illustrated and beautiful images that help you to kind of in your mind visualize it. We have come from a dimension of silence, a world of light, a world of pure consciousness, a world where we exist as a family of souls, a family of beings of peace, of light, of love, a family of beings of bliss. And we come from that home of life, that home of silence, into the physical world to play the game. And if we play this game well, we will enjoy and we will be happy. But we need to know the rules of the game. The rule of the game is to give, to share, not to take. The more we take, more we want to own, more we feel we can lose. And the extent to which we think we can lose, to that extent also, we will feel sad and unhappy and anxious. And once we have played the game of human life, we will go back. To experience this sense of belonging, this sense of peace, this sense of deep silence, this sense of transcendence regularly through deepening your meditation, to reinforcing your link with the Supreme One. That is a habit of guaranteed and stable happiness. Of course, we can go on all night. There are many more little habits here and there. One final one that I would like to mention, but we don't have time to explore and go in the depth of it. But the power of good deeds, the power of kind deeds, it uplifts your own spirit. There is some pleasure taken from food, for example, say pizza, feel full, content, but it doesn't last long. And there is a certain satisfaction from coffee, but it doesn't last long. It goes very superficial. But there are more deeper feelings of self-respect that come, and a certain self-love that come when we use our time in our life for deeds of kindness, for deeds of goodness. It is connected with this attitude of giving and cooperating. But we feel good about ourselves when we have a track record for ourselves in our own memory. It doesn't have anything to do with others, of having done good. It creates a certain confidence, it creates a certain self-respect. We have used our time, our resources, our mind in a worthwhile way. There is power in that. Explore the secret of acts of goodness. And one final habit that I wanted to mention, there are more, but time doesn't permit, is remind yourself of everything you do have, instead of constantly thinking of everything I need or I want or I don't have. Shift your attitude and create a sense of gratitude. And this body, we all have bodies. And there may be some challenges in the body, there may be some illness, but this body is quite a big miracle. And it is such a gift that life has given to you to play with. These eyes, these ears, this mouth, the vocal cord, the hands, they are all miracles. And we get to use them for free. We do not acknowledge that, or very often we overlook it. Create a sense of gratitude with life and with your life. Every interaction with someone is a gift. This is such a beautiful thing. You all are connecting on Zoom. We can interact, communicate, we can listen to each other, we can, some of you have put on the camera. I can see you smile, you make eye contact. It is a gift in this game of human life. So create an attitude of gratitude. It is a gift and it is a very important habit for happiness. Okay? Maybe another time we will have chance to explore some more. There is, of course, the whole area of your diet. Explore the possibilities of doing acts of goodness through your diet, sleeping well. But these are some of the things. Thank you. The center is closed at the moment, unfortunately, but there is renovations going on. So as soon as we open, which will be somewhere around the end of this month, it should be finished and we will be open again. It will be nice if you can come in person again. And then the sessions will not only be on Zoom, but also in person again. But for now, it is on Zoom, and next week will also be on Zoom. Thank you. Anyone want to say anything before we close with the meditation? And after the meditation, I will put in the chat the link to that song, and then you can look it up on YouTube. Anyone want to say anything? And let's close with a short meditation. Allow the body to be comfortable. And consciously remind yourself that this body is a gift, such a precious gift from nature for the soul to use. And remind yourself that you are that spiritual being, the invisible presence, the being of consciousness. Pure, timeless, living light. And just fill the mind with light and silence. Pure, peaceful, free. A soul. And try and grasp that sense of timelessness. Body is not immortal, but I, the soul, am eternal light. Thank you. And I will walk to the sound booth and I will put the link for that song in the chat.
Shanti.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister.
You're welcome. Just give me a minute. I need to type it. Just a minute, this is coming. I have to type it. HTTP. Minute. I'll just put the name. I can't get the link.
Yeah, name would be good, sister. Yeah.
I have the copy. No, I can copy it. Just come on, Zoom. Here it is. I'm sorry, I'm not so good in all these technical things. Now I can't copy it. Why can't I copy it? It doesn't give me the possibility to copy it.
Just the title will do it, sister, right?
Okay, yeah, I'll tell you the title.
Yeah.
True World Home. True World Home. Sky Beyond Sky. I have
Yeah,
copied
got it.
but yeah. But this thing doesn't give me the option. How do I paste in an Apple computer? Anyone knows?
Oh, mine is PC, so I wouldn't know. Apple.
Control V. I'm sorry.
No, sister, we will get it. Once we put this on YouTube,
Yeah,
we'll come.
yeah. So you just
We are
put
good.
true world home,
Yeah.
sky beyond
Sky
sky.
beyond sky. Yeah. We will get.
Okay. Thank
Thank you, sister.
you. Have a good evening.
You too. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.